Hi, I'm back with another review. These came in the mail today. My first ever alcohol markers. Now, they are by Colorya from France. Remember we had the coloring books, the mandala coloring books. Yeah, I take off labels first thing. It's just what I do. But anyway, you can see nice markers in there. There's the front. And I'm going to take that label off. Well, because I like to make it my own first thing. So let me show you what I've done. These being my first ever, I'm thrilled as can be. The latch comes down. It's a nice hard case. Look how much room is in there. So what I have done is I've lifted the photo from Amazon. Yeah, I just copied it, printed it out. Now you understand why I took that label off. There, now I've got my colors. And because I have all this room, I cut little strips of cardstock, and you can see how the colors do go through even on cardstock because they're a nice alcohol-based marker. So I cut 1 1/4 by 3 inch and made myself my swatches. Now, when I do swatches, at least with markers now, since I have a set, I am going to put them according to what colors blend well together. Okay? But, again, because there's room in this case, now I can just slide that down in there, and when I'm ready to take off somewhere, I'm ready to go. There's nothing worse than thinking, okay, what color is that? Because we know it's not going to be the color of the top. They just never are. But by looking at the swatches, then I can figure out what color it is, and I'm not wasting precious ink marking on something. Okay? While I've got this out, let's look at this. Can you see all the little bumps on the sides? There's little bumps right here. That makes it so easy to grab onto. The skinny line is your skinny point. How awesome is that? Then the other end is your chisel. Yeah, did you see how hard I pulled? They're very snug, which I think really helps them from drying out. So, and again, these are available on Amazon right now. Okay? They have just hit the market. In fact, I was in touch with them and they said that we are the first ones to get them with the colorless blender in them. It's total new packaging. If you go on to France's Amazon, it's in some sort of a long pouch thing that you open it up and the markers stick out and the thing takes up so much space. This is all very compact and neat. And so we're the first ones, the US, to get to try out this new packaging. So that's exciting. Now, also, do you see the shape? They're triangular. So when I lay that down, it doesn't go tumbling off the table. Okay, it's going to stay put. What else can I tell you about these before we dig in? You know what? Let's dig in because I'm excited to get to show you. So let's just find a couple of greens. Let's go olive and natural. And see, I wouldn't think that's natural, but again, don't worry about the color names and stuff. Just look at the numbers and figure out what you like to blend and go from there. So again, I was telling you, these are the books that they brought to the United States first. Wonderful pages, beautiful paper. They're just very, very thick pages and just a joy to work on. So we're going to see how the markers do on them. We're going to see if the markers go through. So that's one of the books. Here's their other book. Okay, you can see. Yeah, this one's the newer of the two, so it's not had as much done in it. But yeah, just beautiful pictures. And I had never been one to do mandalas before. And then I got this book and I thought, oh, this is not your typical mandala pictures. Okay? There's some really fun stuff in here. And again, nice, thick pages. All right, so I have a page with leaves in it that I was going to demo on. If I can find that again. Yeah, see, there's another one. This is just a fun book. Okay, that was where I took water-based markers, and I thought, ooh, let's try coloring in one of these books because I love the paper. And then I discovered that water-based markers were not going to do the trick. So actually, I'm really excited for when they finally, the company Colorya, when they finally decide to bring their pencils. That's going to thrill me too because I am a pencil colorer. Love pencils. All right, so what I did was I just stuck the tags back down there. And it's going to be a reminder for me too on what I used in the book. So let's start. I'm going to start with olive first. It is the lightest color. And from what I've heard, you start lightest and work to your darkest and overlap. So like I said, I've never, this is the only time I've ever played with these. So let's see how it works. So I'm going to come in with the wide tip. I'm going to start down here. Whoa, that's some thick basic color. Now see, I'm anxious to see too how they do on streaking, because there's nothing worse than doing a big old background or, I don't know, just a basic color in, and then to find out that your page has streaked. And that's why I've always gone with pencils. And I know I should turn this around probably and use the other tip. So don't judge the markers on what I'm doing here with the fat tip. All right, let's go back to this one now and just overlap some. Now let's see how that did as far as going through. Yeah, I put another piece of paper under there just in case, and it did go through their page, but it did not go into the piece of paper I had underneath. Even when I'm coloring in a coloring book, I put paper between so I don't indent down into the paper. But you can see it went through here, but it did not even get on this white piece of paper. It stayed within. And look at that. Can you see that? How it's drying? There's not any mark. There's no between. And over here it actually peeled up the paper. So let's go with, let's get something else. Let's do these yellow flowers. So I did sunflower and bumblebee and soft butter. So let's get sunflower and bumblebee and soft butter. Yeah, see, that's not soft butter to me either, but hey, that's all right. So we've got those three. Let's leave out sunflower. Let's just do bumblebee and soft butter because my areas are a little bit smaller that I'm going into, okay? Let's just do some on this flower and let's try the other end, okay? Let's try the smaller tips. So we're down here on these. So I'm going to double fist this. I'm going to get them both ready. And I'm just going to go for it. So the lighter color, and then come out with the darker color. then the lighter color, and do some blending. All right, let's do another one. Let's go over here. And that'll give this time to dry too. Okay, then I'm going to come in with the darker one. Just like I would with my pencils, except this is a fraction of the time that it takes me to color with my pencils. Okay. Oops, the light. That time I did the whole thing. I'm just going to see if it makes any difference. And I'm going to do just a little bit up here. And then come back in and blend. Okay, let's move to this big one over here. Hopefully I'm still in camera. I have this problem all the time on my YouTube. What I need to do is, I guess, just blue tape off a section on my desk so that I know I'm not going out of frame. Except that I never keep frame the same either. Okay, now let's let that dry a minute and see what's going on. Now the other thing is, when you've got all your markers open and they're laying around, you can look at the ends and know exactly which marker it goes back on. Okay, and again, snap it till you hear the click. Hear the click on it. Okay, now, look at that. That's some good blending. Love the yellows. Okay, let's just try. Let's see. There's never enough purples in colored pencils. You know what I'm saying? But look at the purples in this set. There's amethyst, lavender, violet, and then the amethyst and lavender go well together, and then also the lavender and violet go good together. So you could actually line all three of those up and take off and do them together. Okay, so I'm going to do the lavender and the violet. And what should we do? Let's just do this area here. Just because it's going to see how it does in a bigger area with the little tips. Okay? I think that would be a good way, because I'm a brush tip girl because I do lettering. So I want to see how this does with just using the smaller parts. So normally I would go the lighter color first, but what I'm going to do is get in these little areas first. Okay. I can just get lost in coloring. You know, the coloring book group on Facebook, that's all women coloring books, keep it clean. Yeah, we get started coloring and we just get totally lost. Now I'm looking for smearing, even with it being a small area. I don't see that happening yet. The other thing I'm noticing too, that leaf that I did with the watercolor, it just started peeling the paper up. I'm not getting that with these markers at all. So, and it's a nice paper. I think it's because I had to work so hard to blend them that it just wrecked the paper, because I was just really scrubbing down on it, trying to get the markers to blend. Okay, so I've put the dark down. Like I said, we're learning together on this one. Now I'm going to switch over to the light, and I'm actually going to do the bigger tip. Switching over. So I've got the lighter color, and I'm going to do that blending part. Okay, so the lighter color here, and then the overlap. So I'm coming with the dark into the light, and then I'm going to do the light again to help me to blend. Then I'm going to go this way with the light. Wrong one. Ruh-roh. This way with the light. So now we're going to see how easy is it to fix a mess up since I did that. And then the overlap. And then I'm going to go back and finish right through here with that big marker. Okay, and I am going to change to the other end, the small end. So I guess it is good to have two ends on your markers, and it's the same colors on both ends because they're sharing all that ink in the middle. Because I know sometimes you'll get a marker and it'll be split and it'll have one color on one end and slightly different on the other. I think it was like Crayola or someone that did that with one of mine. I was not pleased. So anyway, there's that. Let me do just a little bit more on here with that light color. And I'm going to see if I can still blend that just a little bit better. Yeah, this is just trial and error because I'm with you. I don't know. That's why I'm reviewing and doing just a it is what it is live, so to speak. So now let's let that dry and see how it blends. I think it's looking pretty good. Again, it's still wet, but that green leaf, I'm very pleased with that. And the shading on there, that turned out really nice. If you're wanting skin tones, because I know a lot of people are going to be, what about the skin tones? Let me do a flip through and show you what I've found. Okay, these are just the colors that I put together. And those I didn't blend enough, but you can see it's almost 3 different colors there. So I'll probably go back as I learn to use the markers better and redo this swatch. Here's your skin tone, a peach to the salmon. Yeah, that, if you're looking for a Caucasian skin tone, that's about the only one. I also did not get a really good blend on this. Was I off? Yeah. And these are those that blended really well. Here's those purples we talked about. I love some good purple. And the blues are blending nicely. I think sometimes it's just easier to show you what I've been able to do, being a colorist, not a marker person, so that you can get a feel for it. Let's do lime and spring green. And see, I haven't even used the colorless blender yet. And then there's Seawood and Emerald, and then the Olive and Natural that we used. And then here you're getting into some more skin tones, Ochre and Burnt Sienna. There's Brick and Chocolate. There's Cloud Gray and Cool Gray. I didn't do the best on the blend, so again, something I need to practice with. And then there is the black. And then I put some extras in here. So let's go ahead and do another leaf. Let's use these. Yeah, that all dried. You can see there. That's a pretty good blend. All right, so let's go ahead and do another leaf. Should I use the small end this time again? Let's use the small end. Just see how it goes. Again, I'm starting with my lighter shade, using my small end around the outsides. Then I can go to the big end. Why not? Go to the big end, really get that saturated color on. That's one juicy pen. Now see how I went over the amount, over half? That way when I bring this one down, it's going into it. And I didn't make a straight line going across. I kept that uneven. I'm not sure I even need to blend on that, but I will. Okay, then I'm going to come back with my dark, and I'm going to use the skinny end. So there's that gray line, tells me it's the skinny point. And I'm going to go ahead and go in here and do all this. Yeah, no, I'm purposely doing that a little bit sloppy just to see how much of the overlap marker shows and how much it dries with it all smoothed out. Because like over here with this water-based one, you can see all the lines and stuff. Over on this, you cannot. Now I want to try something back over here on the one that we did with Olive and Natural. Surprised I remembered the names. I'm going to come back in and go over this end again and see if it deepens at all, or if it's still going to just be the same. Just seeing if it'll deepen it up. And does it show the streaks if I go back over it? Or does it still blend out nice? And I'm watching it dry. There's just a little bit of line in there, but not bad. And that one's drying nice. So, okay, well, that kind of does it for now. I will come back in later, and if you're on YouTube with me instead of Amazon, we'll actually color a page later using the markers. I want to have a chance to really play with them and learn to use them myself. But again, these are the Colorya markers. They're readily available on Amazon. Mine just came in the mail today. They just hit the United States. So, yeah, I'm fairly pleased. Okay? All right. Thanks for watching. Have fun. Get out there and do some coloring or markering or both.